Hi, hello, and welcome. I'm definitely not Radicis, and you're watching me pug my way to 3k rating on a Blood DK in Dragonflight Season 4. In this episode, we're going to get some fresh 70 gearing done on the first day of the season. I'll give you a recap of all the things I did, and you can see which of these is worth doing for you. I started with 313 item level, so even Explorer gear was a huge upgrade for me. But if you were decked out in Season 3, most of this will be useless, and you can just go do M+ right away. So here's what I did. I did World Quests for Explorer gear. I did the Dream Surge weekly for one piece of Veteran gear. I did the Farak Assault quests, killed the boss from filling the bar in the Farak Assault, and opened the chest from getting the Burning Keys for a few pieces of Explorer gear. While I was doing that, I was recognized by Yashe. Hi Yashe. Yash. Sorry. I did a Grand Hunt for a Veteran piece of gear. I did a Researchers Under Fire event to get the rep necessary for the Loam Niffin weekly rep quest, which gave me a piece of Explorer gear. I did a Time Rift for nothing. I thought I could at least buy a piece of Explorer gear, but the vendors are deactivated while the event isn't awakened. I did Liskanoth, the world boss, for a piece of Veteran gear. I then tried to do the Emerald Dream quest line because even though it shows 415 when you have a quest done, it actually gives current season Explorer gear. But I got stuck when Veskarn wasn't spawned in anymore, and you need to talk to him to complete one of the quests, so you basically can't do that quest line, which I find absolutely hilarious. I think Blizzard will spawn him back in and you'll be able to do the quest line, but for now it's bugged out. I then did a normal Dragonflight dungeon in the hopes of getting a piece of gear to get the 441 item level so I could do heroic Dragonflight dungeons. I got an Explorer helmet from the Ice Lady in Halls of Infusion. Thank you, Ice Lady. Then I did a time walking dungeon in the hopes of getting some adventurer gear, and I got really lucky in the Underbog of all places. I got legs from the first boss and a massive shoulder upgrade from the third boss, which replaced some heirloom shoulders. This actually prompted me to go to the time walking Black Temple raid, where I kept dying over and over again from just regular auto attacks, which was as depressing as it was hilarious. But I did get a champion leg piece and a champion chest piece, as well as the achievement for killing Illidan after having one of your characters equipped with both Warglaves of Azzinoth. So now I can transmog those onto a demon hunter. I then had a panic attack because after logging off of Uquatan and back onto her, I was missing some of my gear and all of my bags. Turns out this is a known issue and you can fix it by equipping a new bag into your bag slot, then logging out and back in. Crisis averted. I then bought a crafted necklace to replace my heirloom one, which was a 122 item level upgrade. After that, I did a random Dragonflight heroic, which turned out to be Azure Vault. I got a nice 4 out of 8 adventure weapon from it, an upgrade for my Explorer one that I got from doing the Emerald Dream quests. I also got 30 flight stones and 10 whelp crests, so that makes it better than running time walking dungeons. The gear is also adventurer, but it's 3 upgrades higher, and you also get crests and flight stones. There was a bug with the time walking quests where people were getting gear at lower item levels than they were supposed to, but by the time I was doing this, it got fixed, so I got champion bracers from the Khazra quest and a hero cloak from the Black Temple quest. I then used the whelpling crests I gathered to craft myself a necklace and a ring, as those were my worst pieces of gear. I have a detailed walkthrough of how to craft this fresh 70 gear in episode 8 of my season 3 mage series. The key difference is how you get the whelpling crests. The crafting part is still the same. After all this, my dumb ass realized you can get champion gear for completing the weekly quest from the dude in front of the fountain in Valdrakken. I assumed there was only a rep reward like last season, but that's what I get for not reading up on this. I then tried to do a community feast, realized it hadn't started yet, panicked, flew over to try and get credit for a great hunt, succeeded, panicked again, flew to the community feast, did it, then tried to get to the Siege of Dragonbane Keep, but I missed it by like 10 seconds. While waiting for the siege, I did some more random Dragonflight heroics for crests, flight stones, and maybe gear upgrades. I didn't get anything. I then checked Wowhead and realized the siege was an hour later than I thought because it's every 2 hours, not every hour. So I asked Danny to pick one of the dungeons for me to do on Mythic 0, and she said I should do Ruby Life Pools, which I'll show you once I show you the rest of this recap. After the Ruby Life Pools, I still had some time to kill before the siege, so I did another couple random heroics for flight stones and whelp crests. Once I finally got the Siege of Dragonbane Keep done, I turned in the weekly quest, only to get a champion chest piece, which wasn't an upgrade because the one I got from Black Temple had avoidance on it. But oh well. Let me show you the M0 run of Ruby Life Pools and the +2 Azure Vault I did. So I started a timer instead of just going in on Mythic 0 because I wasn't really thinking, I guess. Don't know how big I can pull here, so I'm just going to pull conservatively. I'm going to grip this to interrupt the ice shield. Hopefully everyone moves out of that big circle. It's Mythic 0, so I don't know why I'm so tense, but I've not done this on Mythic, so you know, I'm a little bit, I guess anxious is the right word. And there's, I guess, no percent on M0, so I don't really have to worry too much. I'll do another pull around here. Okay, I managed to drop my anti-magic shell when that big swirly came down. Gonna group that mod that's all the way in the back. Gonna use my anti-magic weapon, my dancing rune weapon. I'm obviously flustered because I'm nervous. I haven't looked up the guide for this because I've just been trying to gear this character very quickly, so I didn't have time to look up the guides, although I have had more time over the other days. But you know, let me put it this way, I was just lazy. Something did a crap ton of AoE damage here. I think it was the Primal Juggernaut. Maybe I'm doing something wrong? I'm just gonna blame the rogue. Again, with these mobs, I don't really have to worry about percentage, so I can just keep going. We have the Defiler here. The Fire Draghar or whatever. We're going to kick that. Steel Barrage. Ooh, I need something big for this. Okay. Blazing Rush is going that way. That's something that also hurts. Somebody got bonked big time, and we have somebody body pulling this in the back, so I got to grab that. Gonna use Dancing Rune Weapon again. We're going to interrupt the Ice Shield. Steel Barrage is going through again. I just parried absolutely everything because Dancing Rune Weapon is active. Somebody just got charged. We're gonna pull this little guy in. People need to watch out for that charge. I think this isn't the best spot to tank this, probably. I'm absorbing a good chunk. People keep dying randomly, just like getting one shot. Kind of got bonked by that. Wasn't paying attention to where it was going. Mage says they have no idea when to Bloodlust and that they're the first time in here, which is perfectly fine, I guess. Kind of me too. I've done this a lot of times on normal and a few times on heroic, but I have no idea how to do it on mythic. So what the mechanic differences are, I have no idea. We're just gonna bloodlust on bosses. Everyone seems to be here, so I'm just gonna go ahead and pull, use my grippy hands and dancing rune weapon as well. I'm gonna use anti-magic shell and try and clear these ice thingies, because I think it only damages whoever steps into it. That way we have a clear area. I should probably be tanking her by the side so that these things from the melee spawn by the side instead of being in the middle of the room. We're awakening more whelps, so we're going to go and blood boil them. Keep up my stacks of bone shield. Okay, the boss is absolutely melting, so I'm quite happy about that. What is this? Primal Chill. Don't know what that's from. Don't have anti-magic shell, so I'm gonna not walk into these. Maybe I can with full health. Let's see. It hurts a good chunk. Maybe I shouldn't do that. I should probably be moving her to the other side of the room when I see that people are going to drop that near us. But okay, a few lessons, I guess. Somebody got the trinket. That's really nice. I would kill for that trinket because I have this shitty one. I took a look while I was waiting for Dragobait Keep, and this just, it doesn't do any healing. Like, it doesn't give you a big absorb, and it doesn't do much damage, so it's just a stat stick. Okay, now these trash mobs I don't like even in the normal version of the dungeon because they're just so spread out and they're casters and stuff, so it's just really annoying to group them all up. Okay, on Mythic there is a dragon here. That's interesting. We're going to move the dragon in with this. We're going to do a big pull. We're going to use some defensives here. Dancing Rune Weapon. Going to Blinding Sleep this to prevent some of these casts. I dropped another D&D earlier than I really needed to. Now we're just going to hope that the group can keep up with this. Big AoE is coming through. Can I keep up with this? Did I overdo it for the M+? Yes, I probably did. I guess it's not M+, it's just M. The M dungeon. I'm going to try and kick some of these. I'm going to grip that to prevent it from going off. Trying to self-heal. Into combat res the priest. Hopefully the priest accepts it. They did. I'm gonna grip this again to prevent the cast. I overdid the pull. I think I underestimated how much damage this dragon does, so maybe I shouldn't have pulled that third group that I pulled with it. But we're now down to the Blazebomb Destroyer and the dragon, so we should be fine. This is completely my mistake. Like, yeah, I'm doing just fine, but the issue is the fact that the group can't really survive. Okay, we got to move out of the burnout. I know that much that I can't really be standing in that. Okay, and now it's just Thunderhead. Although Thunderhead is really beefy, so I'm kind of happy that I pulled extra stuff with it because we cleaved it down along with Thunderhead. Or pull, sorry. Yeah, I pulled too much crap at the same time, so we're gonna chill out here a little bit. I'm gonna grab these little guys, pick this cast. Although that cast probably wasn't even directed at me. We're gonna use Grippy Hands because that will help me generate some bone shields. I'm gonna grip this guy so we prevent the Cinder Bolt. I don't have an interrupt, but it's almost done. Okie dokie. Blaze of Glory was going out. You can dispel that and purge that. It's like a shield on him. When the shield goes away, he just has 1 health, so you just tap him in the forehead and he falls over and dies. Just gonna kill these, then we can mount up and just keep running because they're very quick to kill. I'm assuming on fortified runs you probably won't be doing anything to these guys. You'll mount up before you get to them and then run past them and have them group up with you. The Paladin says the shit is no joke. Yeah, I gotta agree. It's pretty rough. We're gonna go and pull Flame Gullet because this time it's not as many enemies. Okay, I'm hoping we can survive this now. We have a Frontal Breath coming through. Nobody's standing in it. That's good. We're gonna drop D&D, use our Tombstone for the DPS. I can't do much for my group. I can try to interrupt these with Death Grips. I can also kick it. That'll stop it for a little while longer than the death grips. Drop a D&D because we don't have one active. We got a reset on the D&D, it would seem like. Molten Blood. I don't know what Molten Blood does. I do know what this giant circle does. Okay, somebody ran into this guy. We're going to interrupt it and pull it. I don't have a CR available for the mage. We're going to say release. Okay, they did. Very good. We have a couple of these little guys coming through. The frontal did a lot of damage. These lightning bolts really hurt. Somebody ran into that and made it quite a pain in the ass for us. Gotta keep death striking. Make sure I don't kick the bucket. Okay, those lightning bolts need to get kicked. Use your kicks, please. There we go. Maybe that helps. And to use anti-magic shell. That'll help absorb some of the damage coming through here. Yeah, that does a good chunk of damage even to me, so I'm gonna look for when it's not being cast at me. I'm gonna use Grippy Hands here. It's because they're off cooldown, so I may as well. Oh, I've been stunned by I don't even know what, to be honest with you. I just overlapped my D&D for no good reason, just because I was looking what the hell I should be pressing. It's just me and this Primalist. I keep getting stunned. I might even go down here if I don't get, start being a little bit more careful. I need runic power. Okay, that stun really hurts. I'm not 100% sure. I'm assuming this basically should never be pulled. That's my assumption here. The reason it got pulled was because of the giant circle. People ran into it, not realizing that it's there. But it all worked out in the end. Okay, we do have a patrol that's over there on that side. If they do get really close to us while we're trying to kill this group still, I'm going to go ahead and pull them into the group with my 2 death grips that I have available at the moment. I haven't used either of my charges yet, so I can do that. I'm gonna drop a D&D. I'm gonna pull these guys in. That was a bad idea because this thing just about died. Okay, we're gonna kick this and that'll make it move over. I have another D&D available that's trying to be dropped on the freaking tree up above me. I gotta zoom in a little bit so I don't have that issue. Okay, so far so good. Can I interrupt this with a death grip? No, I can't. They're immune to grips. They're not immune to dying, though. If you hit them hard enough, they still do die. Okay, well, I've never done this boss on Mythic, so let's see what it does. We have 3 minutes until a Bloodlust. There's no timer on M+, but I would really like to get this done before 8 p.m. because then I can do, Dragonbane Keep, and I can finish up that weekly quest and give me a champion piece of gear. I'm quite excited about that. Well, I'm going to look over here. The mage is looking to interrupt. We're going to stand over by it. I'm going to get closer so I can keep death striking the boss. Now we have to move out of that. Okay, people are cleaving down the adds. I'm assuming that is something you need to do. Okay, that is a huge area denied to us. Maybe those shouldn't be killed right off the bat. Well, there's another one coming in. Maybe it's percent based. I don't think it is, otherwise bigwigs would say so. I'm going to switch to it. I'll make sure I interrupt it. We are running out of space here. Mage is also looking for interrupt. That's good. Okay, that's another giant area of denial here. Like zone denial is a big thing with this boss apparently. Okay, it almost looks like it is percent based. No. What boss would do something at 10% like this? She's dead. There we go. Now on normal mode and heroic mode, you can basically pull to the last boss here and be pretty much all the way good, but I am not going to do something so reckless again. I learned my lesson with the first dragon pull when we came up here. I am going to still pull these guys though, because I think they don't really do much from my understanding, as limited as it is. Okay, I'm going to look to interrupt whatever I can interrupt, because everything that can be interrupted so far has been pretty dangerous. The mage has been really good about the interrupts. I like to see it. Now here I can grip. I can also loot these mobs. That looks like a good idea. I won't say no to some gold. It's not like we're on a timer or anything. I don't want to really pull more than these 2 groups because I'm a little bit scared. We're going to use the defensive here. I'm going to use Grippy Hands. Flash Fire, I'm assuming that is like a priority interrupt here. Trying to make sure I have my Bone Shield charges. Flash Fire got interrupted by the Paladin. People are focusing. It's nice to see at the start of the season, a lot of people will be pretty above average skill, it would seem almost. Like people are actually trying and focusing, so that's always nice. Okay, we're gonna try and interrupt that shock blast. We're gonna use our advancing rune weapon. Okay, make sure I stand in this thing that the priest put down. I couldn't interrupt shock blast this time around. I'm gonna use anti-magic shell to reduce the dots that are coming through. I'm assuming it's a dot. It was some kind of magic debuff from the shock blast because I didn't have a way to interrupt it, so I figured I may as well negate that. I'm gonna use my tombstone just for a bit of damage here. Using it on cooldown is always a good idea. It speeds up the dungeon overall. all. There we go. Now it's last boss. 1 minute on Bloodlust, it says the mage. Okay. I'm gonna try and let people cleave the boss here. Storm Slam coming through. Some ads are coming through as well. We're going to go ahead and grab aggro off of those. Another ad is coming through. We're gonna grip it. Gripping also gives aggro. Looking where the dragon is. Dragon is gonna try and land over here. We're gonna try and stand on top of the dragon. Looking to see if there's anything else I need to get aggro off of. Nothing so far. Okay, never mind. Mage pulled those over there. We're going to drop a D&D on top of those. Storm Slam coming through. I had a lot of Absorb Shield ready. We're going to taunt the boss. Flame Spit coming through. It's not on me, so I don't have to position it. Very good. Grippy Hands coming through. Not much I can do for the group. That's kind of a nice feeling, so I don't get distracted by that. I think I like it. Oh, it was on me this time. We're going to move away in this direction. I wish I could grip the priest, because he looked like he was in trouble. That breath is going to go in front of everyone over there. That priest is in trouble. Yep, priest went down. I do have a battle res available, but the boss is almost dead, and we are done. We're gonna give the priest a battle res when it runs out. Oh, I'm out of runic power, so I can't, unfortunately. But the shaman is casting revive. And I got 10 Drake's crests. Didn't get any loot, though. That's unfortunate. Priest got pants. That's nice. So champion loot just from doing M0. That's kind of nice, actually. That was fun. I had fun. Thank you for the run. This is how we started Season 4. And here we are in a +2 Azure Vault. I actually even sat down and watched the Quasi video, and I made myself a little route that's nice and easy to follow. Hopefully that helps me out enough and I'm able to get myself through this. I don't think it's going to be particularly horrible. I think I got what it takes to tank through this. Just need to be smart about it. Interrupt things that need to get interrupted. Do the mechanics as I'm supposed to do them. Apparently some of things have gotten a little bit easier. Okay. Well, it doesn't get a lot easier if people don't. Okay, this is already off to a bad start. We're gonna use Grippy Hands here. Do we have extra? Oh, we have extra enemies coming in from the center. The Crystal Furies. This is no bueno. No bueno. Panic, panic. Am I gonna brick the first key I do? Jesus Christ. Okay, well, I wasn't planning on pulling that in the start, so I think I can skip some trash later on. We will see how it goes. I'm hoping that everything works out. We might be a little bit over percent here, but it shouldn't be too bad. I'm gonna use Icebound Fortitude here because I'm taking quite a bit of damage over time from these dots. I would love it if these got CC'd just so I can get rid of it. I'm gonna grip it to stop it from casting. I'm gonna grip this one as well to stop it from casting so that this dot goes away sooner. That dot is murderous. I did not want to have to deal with that, so we're going to skip pulling these guys, that's for sure. Hopefully nobody decides to pull the stuff with the whelps. I would really like it if that was the case. We're going to grip this to interrupt it. I need some of these. I'm going to grip this to interrupt it too. I could not grip it to interrupt it. That's okay. I'm going to use 2 defensives at the same time because I'm taking a lot of magic damage. Okay, this is giving us a bit of time to recover. Again, this is the equivalent of a +10 now from last season, so I did expect it to be harder. I'm pleasantly surprised in a way. Like, I thought it was going to be a bit of a breeze because last season it was a bit of a breeze to get through this. Now, hopefully people pick up on the interrupts. Although I'm not doing too hot with the interrupts myself, so maybe I shouldn't talk too much shit. But I think I'm safe to pull the 3rd tree here as well. 3rd tree is going to start the interrupt soon, so I'm going to look to interrupt that. Okay, somebody else went for it as well. I think it was the mage. Somebody needs to kick that now. Okay, I'm just looking for those interrupts because that's a long-ass stun. I'll make sure that that gets interrupted or killed while it's channeling it. Doesn't matter. Okay, it got dispelled, but nobody else was in the circle from that thing. So everything worked out. Now I said I wouldn't hold Dancing Magic Weapon or whatever. Dancing Magic sounds like an anime protagonist move. Dancing Rune Weapon. That sounds more like a DK ability. I said I wouldn't hold it, but I was just about ready to start the boss fight. So I'm going to go ahead and pull these bubbling saplings into the boss fight. Okay, the mage drop. Okay, my guy, you bursted really hard and I didn't have a taunt ready. So you got bonked in the face. Now, my job here is to delete... Ooh, Infused Strike came through and I wasn't ready for it, but I recovered. My job here is to delete at least 4 trees using the frontal that the boss does. And that is okay. That now tracks you. I didn't know that. I did not delete one of the trees, and this may be a issue now because there's nothing close to it. Hopefully the rest of the group can take care of other trees. This person's not destroying any trees, so these 2 trees are going to deal damage to us when the boss does the big thing. I don't have anti-magic zone for the group. Big AoE on the group. Unfortunate, because one person decided to just kind of stand there and not do anything about the trees. I do have a CR available. I'm going to use it. Now again, I need to destroy trees. I just got killed and there's no CR available for me. Rough start. of the season 4. First M plus key. Timer's looking shaky already, I think, but we'll see. We'll see. Reset fast. There we go. Let's see. Healer has given up. Oh, no, he hasn't given up. He says fast rep, which I would assume is repair, hopefully. Let's give this another shot. It's only a +2. The timer should be somewhat forgiving. The DPS doesn't look bad, I think. So I think we're okay. I'm going to sit down and eat. The boss hasn't even respawned yet. There he is. I can get the food buff while the evoker is repairing. Evoker is here and ready to go. We're going to get started. I'm just looking for the positioning of the trees to make sure that I'm ready for it. Lane has sprouted. I'm going to try and deposition the boss over here. I'm going to use Icebound Fortitude to reduce the damage being taken by yours truly. Going to drop a D&D Tombstone because I'm ready for it. There's the frontal that's following me. I'm going to use this so I don't get knocked back. I messed it up again. Need to make sure he's a little bit closer to those trees. Explosive thingy things coming through. Need to destroy those trees. I think we got all of them this time. Come on. Need that Death Strike. Grippy hands coming through. Healer, if you want to get those ads off of you, I suggest getting closer to me because I don't have magic powers of AoE 15 miles away from me. Okay, Leyline Sprout coming through yet again. I'm going to try and position the boss even closer to these and try to get the ones that are all the way in the back. Using anti-magic shell here, probably wasted. Erupting Fissure coming through. I got knocked back. That took care of 4 trees. This time it's a lot better. Okay, now people are gonna drop those big things on top of the trees. That'll spawn more of these little guys, and those guys I need to get off the healer. Healer is standing over there. We're going to drop D&D on top of his head. Need to be ready for another smack here. Consuming thing coming through that doesn't do as much when there's no trees there to one-shot you. That's much nicer. Leyline Sprout coming through yet again. I'm going to get the Tank Buster smack down again soon. Fuse Strike, going to use Anti-Magic Shell for that because it does magic damage. Need to position him so that he takes down multiple trees. I'm standing in some shit here because I feel safe doing so. Okay, well, the healer was standing in that. I can't do much about that. Trying to get these saplings off of people. We're almost done with this. We just need to kill the boss. Okay, cool. Shaman can res the healer and we can move on. We just fight the 2 mobs in front of the book that moves us over, so I'm not too worried about this unless people accidentally pull. But I think I have enough CC to keep the whelp quiet until it gets kicked to death. We're gonna punt the whelp. A little bit risky for me to try to run through here, but I'm gonna do it anyway because living life on the edge, you know? Hopefully nobody else tries any shenanigans like that. I feel safe pulling these 2 guys on my own because these mobs really don't do much at all. You just kick them so that they don't sleep you. See, this thing needs to get kicked. The shaman's on top of it. I'm going to try and move them a little bit closer together, make sure that all the cleaving possible goes through. Mage is also kicking them. That's good to see. Everyone has made it over. We don't have to worry about those. Shaman, I guess, crit really hard, so I had aggro issues there for a second. Don't do all that much DPS when I don't have Grippy hands and or dancing rune weapon. Magic dancing weapon. We're going to be pulling this along with the patrol, so this is going to get moved quite a bit here. We're going to use Grippy hands to keep things moving. That sleep is going to get interrupted by our friend here. I kind of don't want to pull all 3 of these, but we should try and make up some time here. Someone in the back has aggro. I'm going to try and sleet these guys, and now I'm going to drop my rune weapon and do DPS. I can grip that so it doesn't sleep anyone, and I'm going to go over there. I'm going to taunt this. There's another pack coming through. This is a very messy pull. I'm going to Icebound Fortitude. Our Shaman's dead but has Reincarnation. They can maybe choose to use that. I'm going to grip this so it doesn't sleep anyone. I'm going to use... Oh, there's a lot of shit going on right now. Yeah, I messed this up big time. I am slept. What is going on? Why am I unable to do anything with my character? That was my bad. The patrol messed me up. I didn't know there were 2 patrols, so that's completely my bad. I did not need to pull basically the entire ring. You can do that on normal or heroic, but you can't do that on M+, because you're gonna get your ass whooped like I just got my ass whooped. Okay, we have some extra movement speed, luckily, from... Why is this mage just refused to die? If you don't have invisibility, just die. And now the mage released instead of getting rezzed, so they have to run back and we have to wait for them. But I'm going to go right this time, and there's going to be 3 of the Crystal Furies, but I do have some cooldowns available. Okay, I need to focus on my health bar here quite a bit, so I'm going to shut up just a little bit because these dots from the Crystal Furies are going to be very nasty. Okay, stuns are coming through from the Shaman. I can appreciate that. More CC coming through as well. Grippy hands. I only have 1 dot on me right now. Buffing themselves. Mage can spell steal that for a massive damage buff. Making sure I don't hit anyone with this. I died again because I didn't have Purgatory. This is Tyrannical +2, and I'm getting my ass kicked by 2 groups of mobs. Either I really, really suck, or this is really, really hard. I'm getting battle resed by the... I don't know. This might be worth it. We're going to taunt this. 2 are dead. Arcane Fury got cast there. I have a taunt available in a little bit. This frontal is very scary. I'm trying to get some health back. Dancing Rune weapon will give me some stacks. I'm gonna grip it. I can't even grip it, man. That frontal is absolutely whooping my ass. The healer released, so there's no healer here, but we did get... Oh, this is a shit show, man. This is a rough start to my season, I'm gonna be honest with you. And the worst thing is we don't even have the book available yet. We're using the lock summon to summon our healer friend, but the healer is basically already there, so I'm just gonna start my pull. Okay, let's try this again. I'm going to try and keep aggro on that one in the back while we have these 2 arcane elementals, and we have 1 fury over there. I need to go big now because I've already messed up the timer quite a bit with my other shenanigans. Kick that sleep. I'm looking at the fury. I'm going to try and CC it when it does the frontal, because that frontal is basically what's messing me up. I managed to overlap it with something else, looking for the swirlies at the same time. And at this point I need to basically let the group take care of the other interrupts. I gripped that piercing shard. The fury is no longer as scary because we've killed some other stuff. Arcane Fury can go through. After it goes through, I need to interrupt. Okay, got through it, but I learned a lot from this pull, that's for sure. Well, not this pull specifically, from the pulls before that, where I ate shit and died. But we're close to a book, so we're gonna go ahead and use it. Still looking pretty shaky on the timer, even though we've kind of recovered a bit. I don't know. I do not want to deal with those furies at all, so I'm going to go to the left here. We did pull extra stuff at the start, so this patrol, if I'm able to skip it, will be a good way for me to regain some control over the runaway percentage on this pull. This needs to get pulled. I'm going to grip it. That's not grippable. Very good. That got interrupted by somebody else. I'm going to use Grippy Hands here. I think it's a safe time to use it. I'm looking for the knockback here. I'm very scared of the knockback. I'm going to use Tombstone for the damage. Okay, there's the knockback. I didn't have Death's Advance to stop the knockback from happening. The patrol is coming through. We're gonna hit the patrol with a hard strike. That's about the only AoE I had at that point in time. I'm gonna use Icebound Fortitude, kicking that sleep. Nobody needs to get slept right now. This is plenty exciting. Need that keeper targeted. I'm gonna put a focus on the keeper so I can hopefully interrupt when it does the icy binding thing. Okay, smooth enough. We made it to the book without pulling too much crap. That's very nice. I really hope the frog room goes without incident. I'm kind of worried about the frog room, even though the frog room is relatively easy. Now these guards I need to kind of look out for. I think they have some tank busters. Need to make sure I hold aggro. Usually so far it's been okay to just kind of blood boil and move on. Okay, we're going to use some defensives here. I'm going to use my Dancing Rune weapon of magic. I am just going to go ahead and try and grip these guys. Can I grip these guys? Yes, I can. Okay, very good. What I'm trying to avoid is pulling the lieutenant with these guys. I feel like that would be very bad for my health bar. Icy bindings, we did manage to interrupt that. Okay, managed to avoid all of that. I really don't want to pull the lieutenant with this. I guess we're going to pull this and then the lieutenant's going to patrol into us. I'm okay with that. It's going to be a bit more extra percent, but I really want to avoid pulling the, whatchamacallit, the boss and the lieutenant. That's just a horrible idea on Mythic Plus, I would imagine. I'm going to run up to the lieutenant just so I can get it into the fight sooner so we can start cleaving. I'm going to interrupt that. Shaman beat me to it, dropping a D&D so that I can have some extra damage from the shatters. I'm going to use Tombstone for the defensiveness, make that frontal move away from the rest of the group. Almost killed the group with that. That would have been bad. Okay, Ice Cutter coming through. Not too worried because I'm full HP. Another D&D coming down. That's the mob dead. And we're going for Azure Blade. I can grip the adds in, so I feel like this is going to be pretty decent for me. I grip that add in. What the hell happened? Oh, this guy just stood in front of the boss with me. We're going to... Well, I have no CR for 3 minutes. Use my Grippy Hands. That was completely my bad, actually, because I just kind of ran to the boss and stood there. We're going to interrupt these mobs because there's nothing else to interrupt in this. People need to move away from that. Watch out for the swirlies. Okay, I'm going to move closer to the rest of the group, and we're going to kill these guys clockwise, basically. Avoiding these orbs because they get pretty nasty. Group's taking care of these. I'm going to use Anti-Magic Shell. Our healer went down. Not exactly great for our odds of timing this dungeon. The pulsing damage is a bit too much for them to handle, it looks like. Maybe they ran into an orb as well, or a swirly. I have a CR available in 1 minute 20. Here comes a draconic image. Cleave coming through. I was full HP, so I'm not too worried. Dancing rune weapon coming out, so my HPS and DPS is going up. Orbs are coming down, swirlies are coming down, whatever you want to call it. Another ad is being summoned. I have a CR in 12 seconds. If we reset this at this point, I think the key is bricked, so I want to make sure that I don't reset. I'm trying to last until we can get to the CR. I'm hoping that it happens soon. 37 seconds. If we go into the pulsing damage phase again, leave coming through, I'm going to use anti-magic shell to remove some of that damage. 15 seconds until I have my CR, overwhelming energy. I'm going to move closer to my friends here. I'm going to ping this one at a time. Let's focus one at a time. I guess they want to get out of it as soon as possible. I kind of understand that as well, because the like damage over time, the rot damage is really hurting them. I'm going to use all of my cooldowns here. I think the shaman might be my best bet to resurrect. Okay, I think I'll go for the shaman. Yeah, shaman can keep himself alive with ancestral guidance and self-heals from maelstrom weapons, so we're going to hopefully clear this with the help of the shaman. Shaman's also very squishy. He's got ancestral guidance and the defensive running at the same time. We just need to get through this. Just need to kill this ad. Once this ad is dead, then there's no more pulsing damage. Shaman's keeping himself alive well enough. I need the damage more than I need the healing. I don't need the healing, and the healer would just basically be healing themselves. I don't need that, so what I would rather have is this. I'm going to grip that. Orb coming through. Kick this. I'm going to grip this as well. Make sure I keep myself alive, nice and healthy. I'm going to interrupt this near the end of the cast. Shaman can interrupt. No, I can interrupt this one, and then the shaman will interrupt next. Never mind, there is no next. I need death strikes out the wazoo. Very tense for this last 1.5 million. Shaman's doing a good job keeping himself alive. Although I think this key may... We'll see how it goes. We have the one vault guard. Shaman's rezzing the healer. I'm gonna sit down and eat, I guess. Maybe get my food buff back. Not food buff's gonna make a big difference. I'm just pinging which way we should go to avoid pulling this mob. We have more than enough percent to finish this dungeon, so I'd rather avoid pulling anything that we don't need to kill. Okay, well, the breaker. I've been told by Quasi to be fearful of the breaker, but these frogs, from my understanding, aren't that scary, so we're gonna pull everything in here. Again, just looking at the breaker, keeping things alive, or keeping myself alive and keeping things aggroed onto me is what I'm trying to say, but my brain just doesn't process right now. The breaker's almost dead. Bestial Roar not doing that much damage. Not as scary as I thought. I think I can keep these ads right as they are. We have 3 ranged in the group, so there's going to be a lot of hopping around. Range should be standing a little bit closer just so that the mobs are a little bit more grouped. These frogs are not scary at all, so I'm just going to literally move on from these frogs onto the next set of mobs. The DPS can kill that all on their own. From my guesstimation, I don't think I need that much healing. There's a looter here, or a couple of looters and a breaker. So far so good. Charge is going on me. There's no knockback component of the charge anymore. I'm going to group all of this up. There's a breaker past this wall, so I don't want to go past this. I will group everything up over here. Going to use Grippy Hands. Tombstone for the big dam and Dancing Rune weapon. Death Strike myself to full HP with 1 Death Strike. Love doing that. Drop that DND. Beach Roar coming through. Okay, I feel very safe right now. The ranged aren't too far away, so the mobs are staying nice and grouped, so this is good for our DPS. Everyone's doing quite well, myself included, as I pop just about everything. Okay, there's 2 frogs left. I don't care about the frogs. I'm moving on into the next room. The breakers is what I'm worried about, right? Okay, so this is where we need to make our percent for the rest of the run. 1 breaker gives 1.95%, so I have basically about 2% left behind the door. We're gonna have to pull the rest of this room, is what it looks like. Okay, this will give us percent, so the 2 breakers will be extra. I didn't need to pull the rest of the room, but better safe than sorry. You have a tombstone available for the big dam. Looking at the timer, looks timeable if we don't wipe on the bosses anymore. I just really hope I don't kill someone again by accident. I'm gonna grip the froggies just to group them up into the orb from the mage, and that should be good. We're gonna go to the breakers. The 2 breakers, a little bit scary with their bestial roars, but I trust the healer will be able to keep us up through this. I'm gonna taunt this one because I hit the other one. Use Vampiric Embrace here just to get some extra damage. extra healing, whatever. I could have done a little technique here that Quasi showed in his video where you basically, as the tank, you grab these guys and you run behind the corner. Your group runs through, uses the book. You run over here next to the book and die, and then you get resurrected from the other side. It saves time. You don't have to kill these two guys, but I feel like it's not that huge of a deal. We're killing things very quickly so long as we can survive them. So far, the issues we've had were mostly me pulling inappropriately, like pulling way too much. We have full mana on the healer. I pinged out which path we're going to take to clear this. We're going to try and conserve some space here. I don't have to worry too much about the damage being taken, but the healer kind of has to worry about damage being taken. Healer is the person with the Icy Devastator, so that they should be fine. Okay, there's only one Frost Bomb before the first absolute zero. Warlock is making his way over. It was a bit sketchy from the Warlock. Didn't look like they were in it. We're still conserving space. I'm not too worried. We have plenty of space. You never run out of space. The ice does despawn by the time you come around, so unless you absolutely waste a bunch of space, you should be fine. I'm gonna move him just a little bit more, so I would like to get to that next zone without people being freaked out, trying to run over into it. Yeah, people realize that they need to step up a little bit more. Absolute zero coming after Icy Devastator, into Frost Bombs, into Absolute Zero. Okay, there's the last set of Frost Bombs, and then he's going to do the Absolute Zero, and we need to make our way over to the next Rune. Very nice. Everyone made it in. We're all full HP, so it shouldn't kill us. Very good. Rinse, repeat. This is basically, you just keep doing this over and over again. Frost Bomb coming down. We're going to try and drop it over here. Have my Dancing Rune weapon available. Group's doing quite well. I think the only rough part about this dungeon was the fact that I overpulled. I overplayed my hand. I thought it was tankier than I was, so let's call it a learning moment. I learned that I'm not as tanky as I thought I was. Okay, we have Icy Devastator into Frost Bombs into last Absolute Zero. If we could kill before the last Absolute Zero, that would be sick. It looks like we just might. Come on, come on, come on. There we go. Beautiful. Now we can go down and fight the last boss. We have 7 minutes left. It looks like we're gonna time. After all this dreading and whining, it turns out we're actually gonna time the dungeon anyway. Again, I think that if there's anyone to blame, it would be myself. Now, I'm going to tank the boss basically at the side of the room. Once I see that everyone is here, we're going to taunt, and there we go. We're going to try and fight at the side of the room. Dragon Strike coming through. I'm going to use a Death Strike to instantly recover all that HP. I was full HP when it happened, so I'm not too worried about it. Crystalline Roar coming through. First set of adds is about to drop, I think. No, it's percent based, isn't it? I think it's percent based. I'm gonna use Vampiric Embrace here. Okay, that actually did the trick. Hardened Crystal needs to be destroyed first because that's the one that does damage. Dragon Strike came through without me being really ready, so I gotta recover a bit more now. Healer went down to something, I think to an orb. I'm going to start moving away from the orbs. Or I CR the healer. Oh, I can't CR the healer. It's in 10 seconds. Unleash Destruction came through. Then that's a knockback. We're going to try and CR the healer here in a second. Really need to CR the healer here. 10 seconds. Warlock got it. That Hardened Crystal's crushing us. I'm going to use an anti-magic shell. It is a reset, yeah. I'm going to sit down. Or maybe I could run into the orb. If I run into the orb, there we go. Healer died to something. Crystal Chambers. And we go down. Healer died twice. We still have enough time to clear this, I believe. Even though it's tyrannical, the boss fight isn't that long. 10 seconds until it spawns. Okay, let's give this another shot. This is basically our last attempt that we have time for, so I'm going to immediately get started. Dancing Rune weapon. Get that tombstone out. Maybe I should have saved the tombstone damage for something. We're going to use Vampiric Embrace to negate some of the damage coming through from that big Dragon Strike. Crystalline Roar coming through. Use my Grippy hands when we go into the add phase. Dragon Strike coming through. Anti-Magic Shell does some work for that. That's very good. Chain Eruption. Orbs are coming through. Okay, we need to make sure we avoid those orbs. Dragon Strike coming through again. We're going to use Icebound Fortitude. Unleash Destruction. Big AoE. Big knockback. Nothing to avoid yet. Need Runic Power desperately to Death Strike. There we go. Didn't have anything up for that. Can use Vampiric Embrace on the next Dragon Strike. Have Dancing Rune weapon. Dragon Strike coming through. We're going to use Tombstone for the shield and then recover with a Death Strike. Very nice. We have a D&D. Hardened Crystal needs to go down first. Grippy hands for this. Arcane some shit is coming through. Arcane Eruption, okay. Mage stood in one. There's orbs coming through. We're going to try and move away from the orbs. Dragon Strike coming through. We're going to use Vampiric Embrace. Drop a D&D and Death Strike. Whew, my goodness. This is making me anxious. 2 minutes, 20 seconds left for 30% of the boss's health with 4 people up. I think this is doable. Dragon Strike coming through. We're going to use Anti-Magic Shell. That'll protect us quite a lot because it's magic damage. Our Warlock almost went down. Not even sure what to. We need to kill these crystals. Kill these crystals quickly. Tombstone will take care of that. Never mind, I didn't even manage to use it. Okay, a lot of damage coming through on the group. Dragon Strike coming through. I had a Vampiric Embrace available, so I used it. Gain Eruption. Does that mean new orbs? It does mean new orbs. We're going to try and move away from the orbs so that our Shaman, who is melee, can survive this. We have Anti-Magic Shell available for the next Dragon Strike. There it is. We're going to use it, and that's a done deal. We're going to battle res our mage so he feels like he was part of the fight, and there we go. Holy shit, that was hard as hell. What the fuck? Oh, there's my second Splintered Spark of Awakening, so that's 250 Flight Stones, and I'll be able to craft something. I think I may as well just go ahead and do that. Sorry about the overpulling. Okay, well, that was intense. I was starting to worry about my gear breaking there at one point. Oh, we're getting a portal, so I'll just wait for a portal. Thank you, Mage. Alrighty. Well, I think that wasn't too bad for my first day. But now let's see. I think I may just craft. Need to put this on an action bar because of issues with add-ons and whatnots. Did I just make I made a Dreaming Spark instead of Awakened Spark, and that's a waste of 250 Flight Stones, I believe. So that's great. So we're going to go ahead and waste another, well, not waste, but use another 250 to craft a Spark of Awakening, which gives me 489 to 502 item level gear. I think I may just make myself a weapon with using that. So how much gold do I have? 21k. Or should I just wait and make a Worm's Crest weapon? Would that be worth it? I think that might just be worth it because I get 12 from each run. That means I can do 4 of them and make myself a weapon that's maxed out. I think that might be worth it. I don't think I'm going to spend this spark until I'm at least ready to use worm crests on it. So yeah, I think that's what I'll do. But that's pretty much it for this episode. If you enjoyed it, drop a like. Let me know what you liked about it in a comment down below. If you had fun, make sure you subscribe because there's more episodes coming. And if you're feeling particularly generous, you can become a channel member. Channel members have guaranteed replies to their comments and they get nice little shout outs like Radissus got today. But as always, thank you very much for watching and I'll catch you in the next episode.